I'd like to start off by saying I am not a mobile player, and I very rarely play mobile games outside of a gacha game here and there. That being said, V4 is a mobile PC crossplay MMORPG, so I decided to give it a shot. Prior to this game coming out and craving for new MMOs, I decided to write it down as something that I might look forward to, though I didn't have much hope for this game compared to others on my list. The main reason behind me not having much excitement for this game was the fact that it reminded me of Bless Online when I saw the trailers and teasers for this game. It lacked a lot of things, to say the least. It looked very generic and uninspired. But regardless, I give it a shot anyway. After playing this game for a couple of days, one day I streamed and the next I played off stream, I was sadly right about my initial thoughts. I would like to quickly point out some things that I did like about this game. So, in this game there's a fair amount of mounts that you can collect, and from the ones you have, you can choose which to use and then choose what it looks like from all the other mounts that you own. For example, you could pick a dragon because it's the fastest mount you have, but if you want it to look like that penguin you've got, then you can. Another thing I liked were the companions and the companion system. You can collect companions, which give you extra stats for having them, but you can also send them out to the world to hunt monsters, which gets monster markings, which gives you more stats, and you can get more gear from hunting these monsters as well. You can also send other certain companions out to gather materials, as well as do a daily quest in certain zones. Though that is about all I liked about this game really. But since this is a mobile game, there is a lot, and I mean a lot, of autoplay features. I'd be lying if I told you this game wasn't 100% autoplayed, which is honestly very boring for a PC player. So this might not be a problem for mobile players, since the majority of mobile games have an autoplay feature, and from what I've seen, other mobile MMOs are heavily autoplayed as well. But for a PC player, like I mentioned, it's just a waste of time, it's boring, and it leaves me wondering why I even open up the game if it's just going to play itself. I was hopeful that there would be parts of the game that wouldn't allow for autoplay, but it seems I'm wrong. I experienced everything apart from PvP, or instance PvP in this game, which I don't think was even in the game yet, but everything else was autoplay. So it was grinding mobs was autoplay, gathering, you could autoplay that. World bosses, you just press autoplay, and it'll do the boss for you. Dungeons, and by dungeons I mean the Abyss, which I assume is for grinding XP and gear in hunting scrolls. There was Demons, which is basically a carbon copy of Black Desert Mobile boss scrolls, where you kill mobs as you slowly go through a zone, then you meet the boss at the end. So the bosses in this weren't really a threat at all, there were no mechanics to them, whereas in BDO there were some abilities that you should probably dodge. There was also Lunatra, which seems to be grinding XP and getting better gear, though the ones I was able to enter due to my gear score all dropped the same gear that I was already wearing, so it was really only good for XP, but then the mobs took a bit too long to kill. Those are all completely autoplay. You can play them manually, but there's really no point. You're putting yourself at a bigger disadvantage compared to everyone else in the game really, because everyone can autoplay everything in the game. It literally plays itself in its entirety. It's also open world PvP, which you could probably just autoplay as well, and you'll probably do better than someone manually playing the game, because there seems to only be about 2 to 3 CC skills. Also, almost forgot about this, since I'd be playing the game mostly solo, and really only saw this because I decided to do some world bosses, but range classes really. I'm not sure why they did this, but range players were about 2 steps away from the melee classes when fighting the world bosses. Any further away, and I'd be out of range. It was very odd, and it made me wonder why I even played in range class. Maybe it's for balancing reasons, but there's other ways of balancing melee and range classes, other than removing the range. And in the end, this is a very nice looking game for mobile, but overall it's a very generic and uninspiring game, and it feels like a one-to-one of BDO mobile, honestly. I probably should have stayed as a mobile game only. It probably would have done a lot better as a mobile game only, simply because it's all autoplay, and I don't think PC players really want to play a game that plays itself. At least I don't. My friends don't. I just don't see the point in playing it. There's really no point in playing a game that plays itself. But anyway, if you made it all the way to the end, I highly appreciate that. Feel free to give me thoughts about this game in the comments. If you enjoyed this game, then also feel free to comment on what you liked about this game. And that being said, I would like to quickly say that this is the first time I have made a video like this. Recently, I have been trying to be more serious about streaming and making content. I've always wanted to make content and stream. It's something I find fun, and if you have any tips or feedback to give about this video and making future content, then please let me know. I'd highly appreciate that.